Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new vid of Fox Reacts. Today we're checking out a brand new vid from Popcross Studios of what if Ben 10 aliens were SCPs. Let's hop in and see just which of the 10 is turned into a new SCP for the files.
You know, something that I am just constantly hearing from people in the comment sections is, Christian, thank you so much for taking Kirby and drawing him with creepy little human feet, and for taking Arceus and drawing him with gross, weird human lips in your various SCP videos. But why have you not done this with Ben 10 aliens? It's been so long since you did a Ben 10 alien episode, and we all just really want to see you take some Ben 10 aliens and make them a bit grosser and weirder looking. Well, today I have finally heard your pleas, so we're gonna take some Ben 10 aliens and turn them into SCPs. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's go. Hit like if you want. Subscribe if you feel like.
Let's see what alien is up
enjoy the show.
Good evening, everyone.
Cannonball.
Today's lecture will be specifically focused on extraterrestrial entities who, we at the Foundation, were able to learn significantly more about after the event, often referred to as the Omni Raid of 05. An event that took place on December 27th, 2005, during which we were finally able to acquire SCP-010,000 from a dangerous group known as the Plumbing Coalition. The device, which they'd referred to as the Omnitrix, is an otherworldly wristwatch.
Oh, look, he's giving it a hippo mouth. I can understand that, but weirdly, I don't think it fits.
That can transform the wearer into a wide array of alien life forms. Many of these we already had specimens of in containment, and were simply able to study further thanks to the device. But some contained within it we had never come across before.
Oh, like what?
Regardless, all SCPs that we've learned information about from this device have since been classified or retroactively reclassified under the subcategory SCP-0. With that prerequisite information out of the way, let's get into the first SCP we'll be looking at.
I get it now. Oh, it's SCP-Omnitrix number. Okay, now I get it. Now I get it.
Today. Item number SCP-011. Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. We believe 0011 could be housed in a standard containment cell, ensuring the space is small enough to keep it from gaining any momentum, though thus far the only information we have on this species has been acquired through use of SCP-010,000. So far as we know, there are no members of this species on Earth at this time.
Unfortunately, Cannonball is the last of his kind.
SCP-0011 appears as a 10-foot-tall yellow and white semi-humanoid with no head. Its face appears on its upper torso and somewhat resembles a blend of a human and a hippopotamus. In its regular standing form, the creature seems to have enhanced strength and durability, but the most notable thing about them is the altered form they can take on. The species, which we've classified Arborian Pelorota, has the anomalous ability to curl its body into a sphere, somewhat like a common pillbug, but in this alternate form, 0011 can roll at speeds of up to 130 miles per hour, if given enough room to get momentum. It can even leap off the ground in this form while moving and bounce off objects while maintaining its speed. The yellow armored plating that appears over the majority of its back and shoulders protects it from whatever terrain it may be riding over, and can withstand bullets from even a high-powered sniper rifle. It can also transport objects or even people within itself when wrapped into its spherical shape, though being subjected to this will usually come out of the experience highly nauseous from the rapid rotation. If this species ever does come to Earth, we found the best measure to stop and apprehend them is to use dense adhesive projectiles that can stick them to surfaces and prevent movement.
You get a superpowered glue gun and just go then they just become stuck and can't move. Definitely a good way of holding back Cannonball.
Item number SCP-0016. Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures.
Oh yeah, I guess he is kind of a
016
frog.
is to be held in a cell with titanium copper-laced walls to prevent corrosion and destruction from the entity's projectiles.
Neat.
A specialized food dispensing unit is to be built into its cell to ensure personnel very rarely have to enter its containment.
Alright,
If
makes
entry
sense.
is necessary, the
Power.
inside of the containment is to be flash frozen to immobilize 016. The entity will be able to thaw itself out within 10 minutes, so personnel are not permitted to remain inside for longer than that period of time, else risk
I like
being
how it's putting a
devoured.
divide symbol in
Description.
the eyes.
SCP-0016 is a rotund humanoid frog-like creature.
016.
It has 3 long prehensile tongues that can stretch out 27 feet ahead of it. Similar to SCP-G006.
Oh god, get that off.
In fact, this
screen,
entity
please.
has many similarities to G006, though does seem to be significantly less powerful.
Please get off.
With
Thank
that
you.
said,
Thank
it is
you,
not a weak
Chris.
being
Thank
by
you.
any stretch. Its tongues are often used to grab
God, that was
objects,
terrible
animals,
to look
or
at.
beings to then pull into its mouth and consume, and the array of things it can consume is quite extensive. These creatures, when free to roam about as they please, seem to constantly be eating. They can stretch their mouths and bodies to devour items up to 8 times their size.
What has been noticed, though, is that this species, you know, the upchucks and all, they cannot eat basic food. They really can only ingest and use inorganic material. So, really, you just gotta drop in anything that's not food.
Though items this large will take them some time to digest, and in that period they will be significantly immobile. With no food in its stomach, the creature has proven to be very quick and agile, but this is a rare occurrence as it eats as frequently as it can. Once digested, the food they consume is transformed, partially into nutrients to fuel its body, but also into a highly acidic phlegm that it can then spit great distances to neutralize further prey for consumption.
Acidic spit.
Oddly, it has also shown the ability to make this phlegm explosive. From our time studying its kind using SCP-010,000, or the Omnitrix, we have found that this species controls the matter of the phlegm mentally. But in terms of its physiology, we've yet to understand what its body actually does to differentiate the kind of phlegm created.
Really
The Omnitrix has also shown us that there are DNA samples of 2 different breeds of this species, one with darker, more desaturated skin, and another more vibrant green in appearance. We are, as of yet, unclear as to why both breeds were included into the device, as they seem to be the same other than in appearance. But future studies may reveal elsewise, and this log can then be updated with additional
Do need to
information.
find out about that. I mean, they're the exact same alien. The only difference is skin color. So would that mean that each human is a different alien in the Omnitrix, or...
Item number SCP-0412. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. 0412 is to be housed in a standard containment cell with lights dimmed to prevent irritation. Personnel who enter its cell must be wearing full hazmat attire and wear headphones playing calming binaural audio. They are also required to avoid eye contact with the entity. If personnel are subjected to 0412's brainwashing, the cell is to be locked with them inside until the entity chooses to consume them. One D-class personnel is to be placed in its cell once every 2 weeks for it to sustain itself.
This is a really cool one.
SCP-0412 is a humanoid vampiric creature standing at 7 feet tall and possessing prehensile feet. The creature primarily feeds on the life energy of living beings, seeming most interested in humans, though it can also consume that of animals. To do this, it will bite into a being's flesh, but instead of drinking their blood, it will absorb their very life essence until they are a withered husk. 0412 can fly, has enhanced strength and speed, and, most importantly, can hypnotize other beings into doing its bidding, often using this to lure prey to itself for consumption. It can hypnotize others by 2 different means. One, simply by looking into their eyes long enough, but the other, faster method is for them to spit a sort of small, rock-like object they create within their stomachs onto the forehead of their prey. These objects act like small transmitters for the being's hypnosis and works instantly, though they can be destroyed to free the victim from the control. It was not known that this entity was extraterrestrial in nature until we acquired the Omnitrix. The specimen of it we had in containment could speak, but was never willing to provide us with much
Look at his eyes.
information
He's got
about
chameleon eyes.
These beings seem to live for about 3 times the length of an average human, and it's believed by the Foundation that there are more specimens of it on Earth, and have been throughout history. It is entirely likely that one of these beings was the original inspiration for the myths of vampires that we know of today, though there are also other SCPs we've studied that could themselves have caused such legends to first be made. As with common tales of vampires, these beings have proven to be very weak to sunlight. It will quickly burn and bubble their skin. They have not, however, shown to have any weakness to garlic, as also suggested by vampiric myths.
Yeah, no idea what the whole garlic came from. The eyes. He's just like, yo! Chris, the eyes need to be changed a bit. Hold on. Alright, looks like we're dealing with the Scale, aka Ghost Freak.
The SCP we look at today is easily one of the most dangerous we've studied from use of SCP-010,000, and if any sign of it or others of its kind are reported out in the world, a Samsara unit is to be immediately dispatched to its location.
Yeah, this thing is dangerous as all hell.
Item number SCP-0010. Object class Keter. Special containment procedures. If recaptured, 0010 is to be housed in a cell laced with a specialized orange gel that is to be regularly dispensed into the containment. It is a substance our scientists have been developing since the entity's escape that may neutralize its ability to phase through matter, but further trial is needed to prove this. Description. SCP-0010 is a phantasmal entity that we had no knowledge of prior to acquiring the Omnitrix. It initially appeared as a floating semi-humanoid with no legs, withered pale skin, and a single purple eye. Of course, the appearance we know it by now is much more monstrous, with black and white tentacles spilling from its torso, an inverted skull-like head, and long blade-like claws. Though its form seems able to transform further, so those charged with seeking its recapture have been instructed to watch out for anything with even a remotely similar appearance to the entity. You see, upon the first use of this creature's form in trials of SCP-010,000, the being was able to separate itself from the wearer of the device and reform into its own individual entity. It then killed the wearer of the Omnitrix and tried to steal it, but luckily the device seems to be the one item that the being can't phase.
Thankfully.
The entity was quickly attacked by every weapon and guard available, but it went on a rampage through the facility, possessing the guards one by one and making them shoot
I think we
themselves.
found your brother.
It tried taking the Omnitrix out of the facility by carrying it to the exits, but the base was locked down and it was unable to transport it off premises. Eventually, the entity fled the facility and we've been attempting to track it down ever since. We have had many reports of mass killings that were described as being enacted by an entity similar to 0010 since its escape, but if it has been the one undertaking these massacres, it has always fled prior to Foundation personnel arrival. As of yet, we have no understanding of the entity's motives or desires, other than the fact that it had initially tried to steal the Omnitrix. Recapture is a top priority, and we may soon have to resort to sending an agent after it while wearing the Omnitrix to give them an advantage that may be necessary for its capture. On that note, we conclude our lecture for today. As always, please log recommendations for future lecture subjects in the comment section below, and have a good night.
You know, that would actually be an interesting question. Let me know what alien you think would actually be a good match against Ghost Freak. Maybe Eye Guy?
You know, I gotta admit, it was actually kind of difficult trying to make Ghost Freak freakier looking, because it's already pretty gross looking as it is. Overall, I'm super happy with how all of this came together, and weirdly enough, I think my favorite one was actually Hippopotamus Cannonbolt. Hippo mouths are really weird looking, but quite fun to draw. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you want to see more SCP stuff, I would recommend checking out my Pokemon as SCP series. Got like 6 episodes of that, and there's probably going to be another one of those eventually, but first I'm thinking probably another episode of this. I mean, I feel like at the end of a video, anytime I say, hey, this video that you just watched might get a sequel, only tends to happen about 20-30% of the time, but I mean, Ben 10 aliens, SCPs, that feels like a pretty safe bet of a combination that will do well enough to justify doing a sequel. So what other Ben 10 aliens do you want to see as SCPs? Let me know in the comments. But besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or uplifting note. And the thought I want to leave people with today is a quote from Play-Doh. The person, not the mushy kid's toy kind of thing. And that is that reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our minds.
He's right.
I feel like I've probably said a few variations of that as the ending quote of a video, but I just really like that sentiment in any way it's said. Hope that's helpful to someone out there. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next episode on Friday. Goodbye.
Peace. And with that, folks, well, going to pause that since that's an ad. And that is where we're going to leave off today's video. So, I want y'all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Down in the comments, down in the description will be a link to the original video. So remember to support the original creator and all they do. And I'll see all of you folks in the next video. Have a good one out there.